Hi guys, my name is Gerard Nicholson from ATU. Daniel, how you doing? I haven't met you.
No, we haven't met.
We're gone so big, it's hard to
Yeah.
keep track of everyone. I suppose this is my fourth year talking at the BIM gathering. This year is the first time I don't have a paper, but Alan asked me to speak anyway. So what I'm going to talk about today is the value of visual programming for construction professionals. And at ATU, we have, I suppose this is our approach to what we do in terms of the software, the CPD, the support we've got over the years, and some of the events we've been involved in. So in terms of software and the visual programming we use Unreal Engine to generate some gaming engine software. We use Dynamo and Python together to, automate things inside in Revit or Civil 3D. We've also done some CPD with DCU in terms of Python training, ArcDocs and Dynamo, and we've had loads of support from different entities within the actual ATU itself, DASB, ATU itself for its internal, funding. RPS, we've worked on some research projects where we work on automating some tasks within the infrastructure space. BIM Launcher also has been of great use and support in the years. We were part of the AC Hackathon it was a joint one between Galway and London, so thankfully someone from Galway won that one based on the Dynamo skills we had. And then CETA has been great throughout the years. It's I don't want to underestimate the impact they had on me and also on the industry. I think it's important to highlight that. So myself and Andy, the two young bucks that look after visual programming in ATU, we have an actual master's program, which is the Masters of Science in Building Information Modeling and Digital Leadership. Okay. And we have a module in there that's a visual program for digital construction, and we've had a number of people that have come out from that module, and I have survey results at the end which looks at the benefits and also some of the barriers that people have when they move on. So in terms of Dynamo and what it does, it is an API system, okay? So what is API in simple terms when you have developers looking at it? It's a way to actually interact with an existing piece of software, okay? Most software developers leverage API and build APIs within Revit and Civil 3D using C# or Python. Now Python's a bit different, but C# is mainly the software they use. It is more efficient. C# is more efficient no matter what way you look at it. But if we use Dynamo, it's a visual scripting tool. It's a node-based tool, as you can see over here on the right, and people can automate and create APIs. So it's the most popular way to create APIs. Construction professionals, from a low skill point of view, can use this on a day-to-day basis. So as an example over here, you can see I'm selecting the walls with my node. I am using a wire to connect the two. Sorry, this keeps moving. Moving a wire from one node to the other to do another action. So it's selecting all those walls, and then it's counting all those walls. So it's doing an action. All right, so that's the basic principle of how it works. Now, I'm not going to go into that in detail, but it's important to understand that. Now, some of the stuff that Dynamo does, people will say that's AI does that, but the buzzword around the entire conference is probably AI. We can do a lot of things AI can do using Dynamo, but there's limitations around AI, okay? But Dynamo can, customize your workflows in the construction environment. I don't think you can do that with AI. Maybe at some stage. So I have two examples. They're very, very basic, but I'll give you an understanding what Dynamo can do. 100 rooms. I have to set up all the sheets. I have to place all the room plans on the sheet. I have to place all the elevations. So I'm trying to get all the rooms and all the elevations on a sheet. Very, very basic. Traditional workflow, very manual process. But how can we automate this? And some of these examples are from what our students are doing. So they're setting up a project to reflect some of the problems they have in the office. So as an example, Dynamo is the solution to speed up this process. So feed Excel into Revit, pull all the names of the sheets, pull all the numbering of the sheets, put all that data in here. Select all the rooms, create all the plans, create all the elevations, place them on a sheet. This is all done within 1 minute, okay? The actual development of the API itself within Dynamo is done in about 30 minutes. there is some complications with Dynamo and messing with sheets and stuff like that. I won't get into it, but there has been issues. The only thing you have to do is actually move the views into place. So we can automate 100 sheets in 1 minute. Another example, I try to keep, building infrastructure. I worked on infrastructure quite a bit, but some of the problems we've had in the past, and this is just one example. So there's a piece of software called KeySign. You don't really have to know anything about it. The main thing is it relates to the standards. So every sign you see is probably done in KeySign. Every one you see in the UK is probably done in KeySign as well. Okay, creates a 3D model. All right, but the issue with it is that it doesn't give you a Z value. So we have XY coordinates, the sign is in the right place, the surface is there, but the problem is it's at 0, okay? The surface is up here, sign's down here, right? It's a coordination issue. There's foundations involved in that, we have a lot of utilities. So these are some of the issues I've seen back in 2018, whether they fixed or not, I don't know. So the traditional workflow is go around to every sign, look at the surface, change the Z value. Very, very difficult. Dynamo API is the solution, because what we can do is select all the signs, find the coordinates, pull them from the signs, the XY coordinates, drape that over the surface, pull the Z value at that surface point, assign the Z value to all the signs, move the signs to the correct location. This can be done 5 minutes to develop the API, and you're doing that in 10 seconds. So I don't know how many signs you're going to have in a roads project. Could be a 30k road. But we've had to, change the way we work in the office and always just reflect on what we're doing before we actually do it. Because this manual process of doing stuff is not the right way to do it, I believe, anyway. So this is a post survey from some of the students that have completed. It's a 4-year program. It's going on 4-year program. Here's Gary, one of the students. Learning visual programming added value to their professional development, and they noted it as highly useful and highly relevant to their skills, which was quite interesting. The main use in industry is automating BIM task, parametric design, data workflows, fixing the data, checking the data, validating the data. 65% of them said they use Dynamo in some capacity in industry. Now, why is there a cohort that's not using it? Maybe it's not their role. Maybe they're not using Rivet every day. Maybe they're not using Civil 3D every day. That could be one of the reasons, okay? Motivation to learn other automation tools. So some of these tools are some of the automation you can do in PY Rivet. Don't know if you use that, but Dynamo, you can customize the workflow, and that is the big thing, all right? Keeps moving. So what has the number one issue, everyone highlighted this as the number one issue, is that there's a lack of time to develop the script, to just stand back and say, is there an automated way we can do this? And that seems to be the big issue with industry at the moment. They have the skills, they've learned the skills, but now they want to implement it on the project. They don't have the time to do that. So need for management buy-in, obviously, that was a factor. And skills fade without, even myself, right? We teach this one module, right? Throughout one semester. The next time I come around, I have to, spend an hour or two trying to figure out, okay, what way is this working? Skills do fade, so you need to use them constantly. That is an important part. So in conclusion, I suppose, as they worked on the module, they effectively built the skills to use visual scripting, which was important from us. The students gained an interest in automation. Employers are generally supportive of new learning. Okay, so they're all saying we need to do new learning, we need to upskill, but then it's the understanding after that and the support to the employees and afterwards. I suppose management support is key, and demonstrating the ROI, so return on investment. So if I put this much amount of time into this script, okay, how much time am I going to save? But it's not just that project. This can relate to every other project you are working on after that. So there is a skill set that's required for that. Limited time, again, to develop or implement the scripts. An allocation of development time during the project needs to be looked at. In the future, we plan to look at organizations that support staff in developing and using automation tools to gain efficiency and cost savings, etc. So that's in the future, so maybe the next time. So that's me. Hopefully you found that informative.
I found it very informative.